Synchronicity is the birthright of all of us, Rakesh, meaning there are times in our lives when we want something and without us doing anything, it suddenly appears in front of us. Synchronicity is an energy that seems to come our way for big things, like you wanted to start your business, clients came your way. It can often come for very little things in life, like I want to make the move, and then I saw a van with a sign on the side, make the move, and so I decided that's a sign. It's kind of like having a sign that guides you and directs you the way to go. The head, logical thinking, and the heart, intuitive feeling, and we need both. So some people say, oh, it's all about the heart. No, it's not. God gave us a brain and God gave us a heart. And when an intuition comes your way about something to do, also check that out with your logic. So when synchronicity is working best, it's our logic and our feeling hand in hand, both having importance.
Welcome to Let's Talk Clarity podcast with Rakesh Mathuria. And today we are having a special guest from Singapore and who is a master in one subject, yes, which is very close to my heart, synchronicity. He is a synchronicity coach, a doctorate from synchronicity subject. He is the only one in the world who has done doctorate in synchronicity. And in this episode, we have discussed about what is synchronicity, how to experience synchronicity, how to practice synchronicity, and we will also discuss about the top 9 keys on which the synchronicity is based and how to practice it. So without further ado, let's start the episode. Morning everyone, and today we are starting a podcast with Dr. Philip Mary, who is a synchronicity coach, and the word synchronicity itself create a lot of curiosity inside me and inside everyone who listen to this word synchronicity. But before delving into the word synchronicity, let's welcome Dr. Philip Mary, sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Very nice to be here, Rakesh. Good to see you. You're in Delhi and I'm in Singapore, so that's a good combination.
Yes, sir. So I happen to be in Singapore for I think twice. Last year also I came to Singapore and got connected to you, and from there I started to become more curious about the word synchronicity. So, but sir, without taking much of a time, let's jump straight into the topic. And the word synchronicity, it is creating a lot of curiosity inside me, and I read your book also, 9 Keys of Synchronicity. So if you can share, sir, what is synchronicity and how it is helping us.
Synchronicity is the birthright of all of us, Rakesh, meaning there are times in our lives when we want something and without us doing anything, it suddenly appears in front of us. So, for example, as you say, I'm a coach, but I'm much more than a coach. I'm a leadership and consultant and team consultant for the last 40 years.
40 years.
I've worked in 63 countries with big corporations, helping their teams function better. And in projects that people do, they have needs, right? So for example, I wanted to organize Singapore's first happiness conference because we had a lot of stress in Singapore. And I said, now how do I do that? And a friend of mine said, you need to get hold of Dr. Martin Seligman, who's the world #1 expert on, or one of the experts on happiness. And I didn't know how to get hold of Martin Seligman. And then the following day, I was having a meeting with an Australian client, and I explained my project. And I said, but I don't know how to get a hold of Martin Seligman. And then the client reached into his bag, pulled out a name card, and said, here is the personal email and telephone of Martin Seligman. We were working with him last month in Australia. Please contact him. So there I was. I had a project which I wanted to get going, but I didn't have the name of the person I knew would make the project a success, and it was delivered to me. So that's an example in our business life, and it also appears often, as you know, personal life, business life, in our careers, in our love life. So it's about looking out for those unusual answers to questions that come without you doing anything. That's synchronicity.
Wow, sir! It means from hearing the incident, it is creating a lot of interest and intrigue inside me. And let me share two incidents. The first incident, how I got connected to you, and I was just scrolling Instagram and then got connected to Yana Fry. And the first podcast which was there, the latest podcast of Yana was with you. And that's how I got connected to you. That is number one. Number two, when the first time when I heard the word synchronicity, I was I was sitting in a car. I was going from a city A to city 2. And I was there means in coaching and public speaking sphere from last, at that point of time, 2 years. And I was feeling that something is coming my way automatically. And I was feeling the synchronicity or some connections, but I was not aware of the name. And that point of time, when I opened my mobile and search and just watching Instagram, the first quote which came was from Deepak Chopra, and it is about synchronicity. And the same quote you have used in your book also, from Deepak Chopra. And I was mesmerized by the concept of synchronicity. And from there on, the more I believed in synchronicity, and the more incidents or what you can say, life connections, a lot of things I happened to experience about synchronicity.
So tell me again though, what were you looking for when you came across synchronicity? Did you know the word synchronicity? No, you didn't.
No.
What were you hoping for in your life? Let's see how this makes it a synchronicity.
So that the quote, I'm still having the quote because Deepak Chopra.
I mean, before the quote, what were you looking for before the quote came to you?
So before the quote, actually, I was searching for myself. I was reading a lot of self-help books, and I was doing some engineering work in my company. But somehow I got connected to self-development, self-help books more and more. And from there, I'm getting answers that what I really want to do in my life. That means that I started to enjoy doing more self-development books and studying and retaining and then sharing than my engineering works.
Right. But were you looking for synchronicity? I'm trying to understand how the quote was a synchronicity. Or are you saying you saw the Deepak quote and you liked it, and then you found that my book had exactly the same quote? Is that the synchronicity?
It is like that, sir. When I started reading about self-development books and started working on it, I got to know more people who are coming to me, who are asking that, can you coach me? Can you coach us? Like that. I was getting more opportunities. When I was thinking in my mind, I was getting more opportunities about coaching.
So let's be very clear for your audience sake then, Rakesh. So yes. Building your business around coaching.
Yes, sir.
The more you are focused on that, more people are coming to you. Now, you've got to distinguish between the normal attempts you are making to build your business. Because if you're writing to people and say, I'm doing coaching, and they come back to you, that's not synchronicity.
Okay.
That is you from your effort making people come to you by doing marketing.
Okay.
Where I think that the synchronicity is that you came across the quote of Deepak Chopra,
Yes, sir.
liked the quote, and that quote appealed to you, and then somehow the very same quote you saw in my book. Now that's the synchronicity. So all the efforts you are making on your own is just normal logical effort.
Yes,
But
sir.
when it comes your way that you'd been thinking about, that's
Got it, sir. So I was not making any efforts, sir, for coaching. Those means people are coming automatically without from nowhere. I was not able to understand from where these people are coming, and whenever means it is like that, means people are coming in and like that. Yeah.
You're not doing anything, but you just have the thought in your mind.
Yes, sir.
Saying that without you contacting them, people contact you and ask for coaching. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's synchronicity. Where you're not making any effort, and for your listeners, it's important. Anything that you are wanting in your life, and suddenly, without you doing anything, those ideas come your way or people come your way. That is synchronicity.
Wow, sir. But how to means understand it and how to experience it? It is means I think I cannot express in word, but it was there.
Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of people say it's something special, but it's not. I believe that it's the birthright of all of us, and all of us can experience this and do experience this. And so what you're talking about is enabling yourself to understand that these things are coming your way, and then wanting to understand more what they mean and how they happen. And so that is synchronicity. It's something, I think it's a phenomenon that every human has, but sometimes we don't take any notice of it. And if you don't take any notice of it, then it comes your way, but you don't take any notice. And it can be big things and small things. So, I mean, for example, another small thing, because it comes our way, and the biggest thing we need to do to make it happen is to pay attention to what's happening around us. So there was a time 20 years ago when I was thinking about moving my house, and I couldn't decide, should I move my house, should I not move my house? And it was worrying me, and I couldn't make up my mind. I was driving my car, stopped at the traffic lights, and then I turned to my left while thinking about should I move. And on the van by the side of me is a removal company, and on the side of the van it said, "Make the move." So synchronicity is an energy that seems to come our way for big things, like you wanted to start your business. Clients came your way. It can often come for very little things in life, like I want to make the move, and then I saw a van with the sign on the side, "Make the move," and so I decided that's a sign. It's kind of like having a sign that guides you and directs you the way to go.
Wow, so that was amazing incident you have shared, and this incident I read in your book also. So if someone asks if something new person who doesn't know about synchronicity, so how to start with that person, and how to means make him or her understand the word synchronicity?
Can't make him or her do anything. They've got to want to be interested.
Okay.
We're not about trying to convince the whole world. We're trying to help those people who already understand that they want to do something different with their life, and want to understand how they can make use of these events. So the first thing to do is just pay attention to events that go on around you. Anything unusual in your life, pay attention to it. Because if it's something unusual, all of us have normal routines, Rakesh. We go, we get up, we do this, catch the same bus, we blah, 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 blah. So look out for something that catches your attention and you say, wow, that's unusual. I wonder why that happened. Because when something unusual happens, could be that behind that is a synchronicity.
Okay.
Paying attention is important.
So being in the present moment and looking for these curious incidents or like that, and coincidences actually.
Exactly. I mean, synchronicities are like coincidences, but they're more than that. So it's when a coincidence happens and you decide to follow it.
Okay.
So, for example, my story about the bus, or my story about the speaker for my happiness conference, if that's the first time it happened to me, then I begin to say, wow, that's interesting. I wonder why or how that happened. And then you look out even more for similar events. And the more you look out for similar events, I call that having a synchronicity mindset, then they begin to come your way. So it's the most important thing to not just dismiss something as a coincidence, but to ask how it happened, what the meaning is, and therefore what can you do about it. Most people, synchronicity happens to them, they shrug their shoulders and say no big deal, and they get on with the rest of their life. Whereas the first thing is to begin to say, this happened to me once, I wonder whether it can happen again or how it happens, and then just begin to notice. Notice number one, the things that you need in your life. All of us, we need a better job, a better relationship with our spouse, or to find a spouse, or more money, or what car should we buy, what holiday, all of those simple things, big things and small things. Be aware of those needs, and then begin to look out in your life for answers that come without you doing anything. That's the first and most important step of synchronicity.
Oh, wow, sir. So we have to pay attention to the present moment and look for incidents. And let me share one of the quotes from your book. Synchronicity is like a wind that blows, but to take advantage of it, we must raise the sails.
That's a nice one. Okay, yeah. And that's an important thing, Rakesh, is that all around us, all of the time, events are happening, people are coming into our lives, and we don't think much about it. So it's like the wind that blows. But just when you're in the harbor with your boat, unless you raise the sails, you won't move.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for quoting that. I'd forgotten about that. Yes, that's a very good way of looking at it, is that once you notice the wind is beginning to blow, to take advantage of it, you need to put your sails up and say, let me go explore. Let me see what's happening.
So, sir, here I'm just becoming curious about to know that what was the first time you interacted or you learned about this word synchronicity, and how it all started for you?
It all started when I just noticed more and more these things happening to me. I've got a list of at least 40 events that happened in my life where synchronicity, meaning the answer came to me out of the blue to an issue I was facing. So I said, let's dive deeper into this. So I asked, I work with many leaders, senior leaders, junior leaders, starting leaders all over the world. I asked them. The more I asked them, the more they told me the same thing happens to them. So about 10 years ago, I decided I'm now going to go deep into this and decided to do a Ph.D. on synchronicity leadership, which took me 3-4 years, and then many more stories, much more understanding of synchronicity, which resulted in me having 9 keys. My PhD was interviewing people and asking them, what do you think causes synchronicity? I got 200 pages of data from that. from there, I developed the 9 Keys of Synchronicity. And so in my business, I work with teams and leaders all over the world. I'm now adding synchronicity to that mix so that teams can begin to understand, how do we attract success to us by paying attention to synchronicity.
Wow, that was amazing. When we started to think about those things and coincidence and incidents start happening, so this is what happened to me when I got connected to you, and I just learned that you are about to launch your book. So can you tell us, sir, about the book, and what are the 9 keys of synchronicity?
The book I launched a year ago.
Year ago, yes, sir.
I'm not about to launch it. It was launched in June last year.
And I came to Singapore in June only.
Okay. Well, then, if you looked in the bookshops in Singapore, you would have seen the book there. So I launched the book, and I have a masterclass that I run both online and face-to-face, where people come who want to learn more about taking the 9 keys. There are 3 sets of 9 keys. 3 of them which are about discovering synchronicity.
Okay.
3 of them about how to integrate synchronicity into your life, and 3 of them which are mindsets.
Mindset.
So it's a journey to begin to look at the 9 keys and see how you can begin to practice them more in your life. So, for example, key number 7 is called live with hope and possibility. A lot of us live without believing that good things can come our way. And so when a synchronicity happens, you can't just shrug your shoulders and say, no big deal. Or you can say, I've tried synchronicity to believe that good things can come my way, but it doesn't work. So key number 7 is the attitude of hope and the attitude of possibility.
Possibilities.
If you believe that nothing good will ever happen to you, then that key helps you understand how you have to deal with that. Because all of us have negative beliefs that come from somewhere in our lives. Unless you deal with that, then you're blocking the flow of synchronicity to you. Key number 8 is about living in the present moment, as you say. A lot of us live in the future or live in the past. We worry about the future. We are guilty about the past. And unless you live in the present moment, because the present moment is waiting to bring to you answers to questions that you have. But if you really are more in the past or more in the future, then it's not going to happen. The keys about integration were really about, once the synchronicity happens, you should celebrate it.
Celebrate it, okay.
Everybody's got their own opinion about where synchronicity comes from. I happen to believe it's part of the quantum field. Quantum mechanics has begun to explain to us how synchronicity happens, but many religious beliefs also explain why synchronicity happens. And so when it happens, give thanks for it. Be thankful that it's happened, because that will then enable you to be more aware and have an attitude to look for and expect more of them. Key number 5 was an interesting one, Rakesh. I found in my research that it seemed to happen more when you were serving other people. So when you're involved in a project which is about making other people's lives better, your life better, then synchronicity seemed to happen a little bit more. And there's something, key number 6, about the head, logical thinking, and the heart, intuitive feeling, and we need both. So some people say, oh, it's all about the heart. No, it's not. God gave us a brain and God gave us a heart. And when an intuition comes your way about something to do, also check that out with your logic. So when synchronicity is working best, it's our logic and our feeling hand in hand, both having importance.
Wow, sir. So, yes, sir. So from here, I just remembered one of the quotes from the book. So let me that also read out. Yeah. Synchronicity happens when your goal or vision is linked to creating positive outcomes for others.
Yeah, that's key number 5. That's
Key number 5. Yes, sir.
key number 5. Be a servant citizen. So if your focus is on serving and helping other people, just from the data, we can't say it happens all the time. Don't forget, all my research was just interviewing people to whom synchronicity happened and getting some idea about what they said. So that focus on being part of a positive project that serves other people and serves the world, somehow the people I interviewed said that answers came through synchronicity more easily. Doesn't mean you don't have to work, you do. Go with your project milestones, use your head, but what we're in an age now, Rakesh, when the feelings of the heart and the ability to listen to the heart as well as the head are the keys to making decisions and being successful.
Wow, so wow. And from here, let me also share that the first key was be curious about out of the blue events. So after reading your book, I started to pay attention to more of these events which were happening every day, and I think I started to notice every day these out of the blue movements, and I started to take note of these moments in my diaries, and somehow in future I started to connect the dots of these events to my journey, my coaching journey, and my journey to serve others for this podcast, and the way I connected to you. All these started to means I got to understand these things.
Well, that's the key number 2 is connect the dots, as you say. So it's actually really about, and we're moving to a close now, and I need to go soon. It's all about, as you nicely express, Rakesh, on the journey of life, look out for what could be miracles. Miracles meaning things that happen and come your way with no effort from you. So again, if you look at my Martin Seligman Happiness Conference, I was involved in starting a project, help people, help leaders in Singapore. I was given the name of Martin Seligman by a friend of mine. I didn't know how to find him or how to contact him. One day later, out of the blue, my Australian client gives me the personal email and address of Martin Seligman, and Martin came to the seminar and caused it to be a big success. We had 400 people at the seminar, and he was the keynote speaker. So I was involved in a project about helping other people, meaning I was being a servant citizen. I was looking out for things that could come my way, and then here I was, out of the blue, I get the personal email and telephone of Martin Seligman, which enabled me to continue and run the seminar, the conference.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that. But here, let me ask you, sir, one last question, because that incident got me very curious about what you have shared about singer John Denver, and the incidences and the inclination which directed you towards your marriage and all those things.
John Denver was, I was in a relationship with a beautiful woman and kind of not deciding or not being able to decide about getting married.
Yes, sir.
And then I went on a seminar where the songs of John Denver played very loud, and they moved me to say, what am I waiting for? Let me ask this woman to get married. And then I said, I want to say thank you to John Denver for his songs. That was Friday evening in Singapore, but how do I say thank you to John Denver? The following day in the newspaper, I read that John Denver was about to appear in Singapore the following week. In the afternoon, I got an email from a friend who said, John Denver is staying at our hotel next week. I hear you want to get hold of him. So I sent a fax she had the fax in her hand, and John Denver appeared in front of her, opened the lift, and there was John Denver. And then John Denver called on the Sunday. So that's
Sunday.
the synchronicity. I had a need. My need was to decide about getting married. John Denver's songs helped me to decide on that. And when I asked her, she said yes. And so I just wanted to say thank you. On the Friday evening, John Denver, I want to say thank you to you. I don't know how I do that. 2 days later, John Denver called me at home, and I was able to say thank you to him. So, as I said, synchronicity, unless the final statement, synchronicity happens.
Yes, sir.
Are we paying attention? Because synchronicity, we need to use our logic when decision making. No doubt about that. We've got a brain. But also have this additional energy system, which gives us the answers that enable us to move forward in our relationship, in our marriage, in our work, in our career, whatever it may be. So all I'm saying, and final word to your listeners, pay attention to things coming out of the blue. And obviously, if you're interested, just 1 second. If you're interested to find more, then call the 9 Synchronicities, which is based on Ph.D. scientific research. So this is on Kindle, it's on Amazon, and many others. So if you're interested to find out and learn more, then take a look at this. So Rakesh, it's been very, very nice to talk to you, and I'll be very happy to talk maybe in a year's time or so, when you've maybe had more synchronicities. Maybe, you know, we could even do a talk where you had people present, and we could take this a little bit further. So it's very good to talk to you, Rakesh.
Thank you, sir.
Really exciting to me when new people I haven't met before come and connect with me, and I've enjoyed our talk. So I hope that's been useful for you, and please do contact me again, and we can do another talk in a while.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing time and connecting for this podcast, because means we were trying so many time from last month, this time zones and meeting everything. But thank you for taking out time for this podcast.
You're very, very welcome, Rakesh. You have a good day, and my best to all of your listeners. Pay attention. Answers to your life may be in your environment. Open your eyes and look for them, and maybe your life will turn around. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for watching Let's Talk Clarity podcast. और अगर इस पॉडकास्ट को आप और आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं तो लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, और कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर डालिए क्या आपको इस एपिसोड में अच्छा लगा, क्या आप इम्प्रूवमेंट चाहते हैं, या फिर वो भी डालिए अगर आपको कोई गेस्ट जिसको आप लेट्स टॉक क्लैरिटी पॉडकास्ट में लाना चाहते हैं तो उनका नाम और लिंक दे दीजिए. आई विल ट्राई टू मेक देम कम ऑन माई पॉडकास्ट. सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस एपिसोड.